Alright you guys, got a 15 plus 10 up on the board with Ralph Carrera, who's played e4. So I'm going to play my normal repertoire. Ralph is rated 1601, so pretty strong opponent. Okay, we've got an Italian game, so I'm going to go Russo. This is all theory so far. And do I have book? Where is book? Here. Right. Okay, so while he's having a think, I'm going to explain to you the next step of the Gromit method that I'm talking about. Okay, Russo accepted. Okay, so I know what to do here. I'm going to kick the knight with tempo. Now, so moves 1 to 4. Okay. Theory. Okay, so what I'm doing, I've got my book, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like the first step. We've already seen the second step, which you can do anyway, right? With any game that you've played, you can go over it and take the lesson from the game. Okay. Now we need to be careful about this. So move 5. So I'll tell you what I'm going to write down. I'm going to write down what's critical, okay? Defend, Queen H5 check. All right. So at each point you write down what's critical, and you also write down candidate moves, and then afterwards, what this is going to give us is this is going to give us a record of what you were thinking in the game. Now here, I'm pretty sure I can play d5 because I've got 2 attackers, 2 defenders, right? So if knight takes, I win the knight. If bishop takes, this is fine. If the queen comes out here, so let's say here, knight takes, I win the knight, then queen comes out with check. My knight comes back to f6, that's the important thing, okay? So I can play that. So this is move 6. Tactic. d5 is playable. I calced, right? Because here's the thing. Okay, so he's retired the bishop to b3, where it's not going to be terribly clever. I'm pretty sure I can go ahead and capture this. Again, if queen h5, now I have bishop g6. So move 7, recapture. And this is all pretty much theory. I've probably had this position many times before. Okay, so you've got move 8. He's played d4. Now, obviously, I can capture en passant, but just because you can doesn't mean you should, in the immortal words of Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park. Bishop b4 pins the knight, might just prompt bishop d2. I want to think about castling. This bishop's going to be fairly useless on this side of the board, but even so, we could have, for example, c4 later on, and exchanges in the board. That's what happens in chess. So I am thinking now, maybe it's time to, maybe I should be thinking about going long. And I think bishop d6. So notice that's only one candidate move that I've considered e takes d3, e takes d3 ep, but nah, sad face. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and play this move, bishop d6. Critical is develop and castle. Okay. Prepare castling, because like you say, when I went through the game that I'd previously played, I was guessing at what was my thought process, right? I didn't have a record of what did I consider and what didn't I consider. All I could do was make assumptions about what had been going through my head at the time. For example, when there's a better move that you could have played, did I consider that move? Well, I can't remember necessarily. after the game, even immediately after the game, because this isn't this isn't classical chess. I'm not spending 10 minutes on a move. Okay, bishop e3 looks clunky to me. Yeah, he's defending this pawn, but it's only attacked once anyway, and it's already defended by queenie. Maybe he's just thinking he wants to castle long. Okay, so the question is, what is critical? And this is such a powerful question. Should we be attacking? Should we be defending? Is there a key square? Is there a key file? Something like that. So I'm thinking now, develop the queen, get castled, is what's critical. I don't see any major... oh, hang on. There's a tactic. This was a mistake. I actually hung a pawn there because I blocked the queen's defense of the pawn. Right? So bishop d6 was an error. Now how can I defend this pawn again? I mean, I can play my knight here, but that's kickable. So knight b4. Knight b4. Nope. I think I need to move this. I need to move this bishop. So bishop here. Yes, I'm playing bishop b4. Bishop b4 may prompt a3. Okay. Tactic. So what's critical here is tactic, right? And I played bishop d6, which is a mistake. So I'm figuring out my own kind of notes and notation as we go. Okay, queen d2. So it does look like he's thinking about going long here. The knight is still pinned. Now question, can I put pressure on the knight? If I play queen d6, that's a candidate move. Queen d6. Can he trap my bishop? That's a question. Drop, drop. This is okay actually. In fact, that's not a bad place for my bishop to end up. So I like queen d6. Yeah, that's what I played. And what was critical there? Dev q. Castle. Okay, he's kicked me. Okay, this is fine. So the next move is pretty much forced. And I say pretty much forced because, of course, bishop takes knight was an option here. We've got a slightly closed centre, but it's not terrible. But I'm maintaining this pin on this knight. Obviously, the b pawn can't move forward. Okay, so now he's castled. And I think what's critical here is castle and proceed. That's now triple defended. This bishop feels a bit awkward, and it feels to me as though that knight is a stronger piece at this point in the game. I can just drop my bishop back down to there. I mean, it means my bishop has taken quite a route. That's 4 moves for the same piece. And this is the question. What's critical is trade bishop for knight, or just come back here. I mean, how important is this pawn? It's defended once, twice, 3 times. Just inclined to leave the bishop there, I think, for now. The question is which side to castle on. This is a slight backwards pawn. I'm going to go long. I went long to defend d5. It's a kind of a long defense. It's not an immediate defense. Obviously, it's defended by this knight and the queen and now the rook behind. The bishop could even come back, and this bishop's not terribly clever. So let's be thinking about g4, f3, takes. No, he's got a knight as well. I mean, if that knight was out of the way, then that might be an idea. This knight's still pinned. He's created a slight weakness already here with a3. I'm happy about that. I kind of like dropping the bishop back here anyway. It kind of solidifies my own king. My king's arguably a bit more solid than his. Right now we've almost got the identical structure here, but he has pushed a3. Knight in here. His dark squared bishop might have more ideas. Maybe I could close down the dark squares, because this light square bishop, from the very start, you know, this is the whole point of the Freddy Krueger opening. Very often you get this bishop trap. Okay, f3, we have a pawn break. So he's now attacking the center. I'm kind of inclined to allow him to do it, because this knight, remember, is pinned. So if he wants to take this pawn, I can take here. I'm attacking the queen and the pinned knight. So no great threat there, I don't think. If I was to take the knight now, I'll take back with the queen. Yeah, I mean, to get a knight on here, I'm also threatening maybe f2, you know? So I think we're okay. So my instinct says complete development with a centralized rook, because we have a semi-open file. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, this is move 13, critical, f3, no threat, dev. Now obviously I'm talking this through as well. I'm down to nine and a half minutes already, so I might need to pick up the pace a little bit. But my instinct is this is a useful process, and even talking it out loud will help. I find that the more I talk to myself during games, the better I play on the whole. And you're not really allowed to do that over the board. I mean, I'd love to sit muttering away like a madman. This is interesting. So now he's created a backwards pawn here on f3. If he goes here and pushes, now if I come back here, he can push the pawn. He can also play bishop f4. I do have the option here, by the way, of trading a minor piece for 2 pawns, and that then gives me an open file. And my hunch is, so let's say bishop takes, pawn takes, knight takes. He's relatively well defended around there, but actually that does put 2 attackers on here. If I drop back, I'm slightly concerned about moves like this. If I just drop back, he could push and push, and my bishop's looking a bit stupid there. The question is my bishop going to have long-term prospects? You know, if the board changes, is the board going to change? Not sure. Okay, I'm going to trade him off. Okay, so this is move 14. It's a gamble. Poor LSB for 2 pawns. Okay, but now I have 2 attackers on H2. H2 threat. Open F file. And this rook here isn't too clever yet. This knight is not developed. This rook is not developed. I am attacking this bishop. I'm also attacking H2. See, if I could take on H2 and then come back here, no, I'll probably just swap. And also it hangs the H7 pawn. I like the fact that this knight is still pinned. The queen's the only defender of this. Okay, he's thrown in the check. What ifs? Okay, there's a couple of moves. Now, rook d7. allows, you know, rook d7. There's a case for that. Or rook d to e8. I think rook d7. Move. So what was move 15? Yeah, recapture. Move 15 was pretty straightforward. Move 16. Prepare. Double up rooks on f. That's the idea. Okay. So I'm writing down my reasons why, because I may not be able to remember them later on. Okay. Okay. This isn't bad, you know. This is okay. I do believe tactic. Knight f2 hits both rooks. Queen can't take, defended by rook. Yeah? Tactic. And sometimes tactics just override everything else. Doesn't mean you shouldn't consider, you know, safety and other ideas. I mean, if you've got, for example, a checkmating threat, ignore the tactic, you know. There's like a hierarchy of stuff. And you should normally consider everything. Okay. Now, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I take here, he can recapture with queen or rook or knight. If I take here, he must recapture with rook, which still defends that point. I'm just going to take on d1. I don't think it's pretty academic. Just put academic. Actually, can't recapture the knight because it would hang the queen. So I'm up 1 right now. Okay, so I've got 2 rooks and a bishop. So he's basically got 2 knights for a rook. But I have 7 pawns. He's got 5. So you know, we're doing okay. Now I could kick the bish. So h6 is an idea. h6. Then the bishop's almost certainly going to come here and harass my queen, which again is not necessarily a problem. This pawn is still defended 3 times. Other ideas: queen h2 is a thought. So he does have the bishop pair, and he does have an extra minor piece. So it's, you know, it's by no means a dead set. I'm going to play h6. I'm okay with this move. I just want to shut down his most active piece. Okay, so that's my idea. Shut down most active piece. Now, also, you're not allowed to do this in competition either. You're not allowed to do that. Oh, okay. So he's retreated to there. Wow. I think that may be his, you know, move 20. Concern rook f2 pin. That's from white's perspective. So now if I double kick again with g5, he can't go there. I'm going to play it anyway. G5 is the only real thing I consider. Okay, he's gone here, like we expected. And this is not too bad. Queen e6 hits the pawn. Pawn pushes, takes. We open up the bishop again. Doesn't really help the situation. But my queen is under attack. That's what's critical, right? Queen on prise. So I can't take here. Going here? Don't know. I feel like my queen belongs in the open space. His rook can't come to f1. So, I mean, I can put my queen here. Keeps my attention on this pawn. If queen e6, so we're looking at queen e6. I think he'll just push. Okay, queen f6 it is. Queen f6, yeah. And the reason is now, if he can't push now, because I can take, right, he loses a bishop. He can't play rook f1, okay? So the idea is restrain. Okay, I'm down to 5 minutes. I'm gonna have to play a bit quicker now. So maybe I won't write down all my moves here, because, you know, I'm doing okay against the 1601, so I'd love to win the game. Also, I do have a video record, so if I need to. So let's settle down and see if we can't get a result. Right, so what's poor? This knight's okay. Right, does he want to start trading stuff off? He's just taken a defender away from that. It's now defended twice. The knight's still pinned, so I don't want to play bishop b6. I want to keep my king on the light square. Having said that, moving the knight would allow me to play c6. However, that would open up a line towards my king. So I don't think the defense of this pawn is the critical issue right now. Well, actually, maybe it is. Again, I've left that pawn under-defended on d5. If I take the knight, though, he just replaces it with another one. So I'm going to play knight e7, adding a second defender to this pawn. If he wants to put his queen here, he can't, because I take, he takes back, he loses a rook, and very likely the game. Where are you from, Ralph? Australia. Where from? Is queen here an option? It certainly is. I mean, right now this knight's defended twice and pinned. Queen here is jamming it right down its throat, isn't it? So I'm kind of inclined to play this. I could even push like b6, king b7, something like that, you know. I don't think my king's in massive danger. This bishop's really useless right now. Okay, what's that move for? I'm going to play c6 without thinking. Need to move quicker now. This knight's defended by pawn and knight. He's defending the bishop, yeah, whatever. This move is still of interest to us. Knight here. Right, now we can relax about this pawn now. It's defended by a pawn. So it's defended cheaply. We like this. Cheap is good. Queen also defends here, by the way. So he's doing a good job of hanging on to that d4 pawn. But notice this pawn is defended by pieces. Yeah, so I think actually, you know, writing down my moves and trying to, you know, commentate my thought process for you guys as well, it's a bit laborious. I've burned through a heap of time doing that. So I'm not going to do this on videos. I think it'd become tedious quite quickly. But I did want to show you the idea. And then what I can do, maybe in a subsequent video, is revisit this game using those notes. And then what you get is you get the delta, you get the difference between what you did and what you thought, and then what was best, right? Just looking at the game report and saying, well, what was best? Okay, I'm kind of expecting this move. But it's okay. I can just drop my rook back. Okay, just playing a game and then going, well, what could I have done better? And the computer goes, well, you could have done this better. And you go, oh yeah. Oh right, okay. Right, we've all done that. Right, that doesn't make you better. That's just the computer going, I could have done better than that. You go, yeah, no. You know what I'm saying? Now, this would be a worry, were it not for Her Majesty. But like I said, b6. b6 is a thought. b6, and where's that knight going? Here? Oh, actually, yeah, I'd have to trade off the bishops first before I play b6. No, because then he puts his queen there. And then I push b6, then he comes here. And I can't go there because the queen then dives into c7 and chops off my head, which we do not want. No, my love, we don't. So he's burning some time as well now. He's struggling to get through too, but he's getting some play. This knight is an annoyance. I may consider attacking it with my bish. Oh, okay. Right, well, we just recapture, yeah? He can check with his queen here. But even king b6, it's not a stupid idea. Right, so it can't go there, can't go there, can't go there. Now, which leaves two options. Three options. I can block with the queen. I can block with the queen. I think that appeals to me. I don't really want to go towards the enemy lines. Yes. So he's got... Oh, cock. I saw that check. I forgot to check that one. And that wins him his exchange back, because my queen is pinned. And I have to go here. No, I don't. Hang on. If he finds this and I go here and he takes out this rook, that rook has to capture, yeah? And then my queen's undefended. So if he goes here... thank the Lord he missed it. Alrighty. Okay, now, knight here I kind of like. Yeah, Misa like this. Misa like this. Knight here shuts out Queenie. And then he can't fork my rooks because the queen just takes. See? 1600s make mistakes and miss stuff. And then I think b6. Start to push up. You know, really pushing him. In fact, where's he going to go if b6? Can't go there, can't go there, can't go there, can't go there, can't go there. b6, is he going to go here with check, but then king comes across to b7. Hits him again, he comes back here. Then I've got a5 though. And he's going to end up forced back into a horrible corner. Right, he really, really did miss a trick there. Yeah, so the process would be, you then take your notes. It doesn't have to be immediately afterwards, doesn't matter. You take your notes, create a lesson, or a chapter in like a study from your game. You go through it according to your notes, and see what else you can find that you didn't see in the game. That's like the first cycle round. Then you can maybe switch on the evaluation and go through it again. I mean, look, how many moves? We're talking 30, 40 moves, right? Typically in a game. Right? Get your eval on, get your eval on, and go through it. So if you see the eval change, then you say to yourself, well, why did it change, right? Now you don't want to have lines on. You don't. Okay, I've got a rook there. Odd move. Definitely odd move. If knight comes here, I know where I'm going. Okay. Now he's down to 6 minutes. I'm on 4:27. I've regained a little bit of clock. I think, no. He's got to go there, eh? And then, how about this? It's got to be done. It's got to be done. Then even maybe b5, a4? If it's knights in that hole, the bishop's got nowhere to go. Tick tock, TikTok Sherlock. Hang on, I spy a tactic. No, I thought my queen was attacking that. Never mind, I'm losing my nuts. Losing my nut. No, not losing my nuts. I'm off my nut. Well, I think that's pretty much forced, mate, so yeah. And now it makes total sense, I think, to push the pawns onto the light squares, and he's going to have to move his c-pawn then, isn't he? If I do this, he plays... But what if he plays c4? I just take, do I? This knight is the only defender of that. I have this move as well, that attacks the queen. Is that clever? Is that terribly clever? Let's push on. I'm going to make him think. Apologies, I realise my teacup is right next to the microphone there, and so everyone now needs to go for a wee. So, 5 minutes. Just done the whole 4 seasons of Sherlock again in the last couple of months. Really, we've had a girl staying with us from Switzerland who goes home on Tuesday. Just had her 21st birthday yesterday with us, and I had to show her Sherlock because I think it is the best television ever made. Although it's like a dozen feature-length films. Okay, so this, and now I can force him back, but I don't have to. I also have this. Now, how can we make this move more effective? Well, if I do that now, wherever his bishop goes... Okay, let's create you a problem. Now, notice... Oh, hang on. Kick the bishop away, and then I have c4, unless he attacks my knight. But how's he going to attack my knight? He can't do this because my queen takes. He can't go here because pawn takes, right? He can drop his queen back to g1. Then I can just come back here. 4 minutes, 10 seconds. Yeah? So I'm liking this. I'm liking this little hole here I've got. Now, it's not an outpost because the b pawn can still shoo him away, but then he can always come back here, you know, that's okay. I do like horses. Big fan of horses. Well, knights. I don't like actual horses. They're smelly and scary. Okay. Yeah, I don't like real horses. Horrible, smelly things. I'm actually up on the clock, believe it or not. Anyway, got to crack on because I've got a rugby game in 50 minutes, kicking off. He's down to 3.5 nearly now. So this... Okay, so he's preemptively run away. I'm going to come here. I'm going to go there, maybe. This is all good. Now I'm using the clock as a weapon. He's on 3:30. I'm just over 4 minutes, right? So this is going to get fairly critical. I'm still up a tiniest bit of material now. That's a move. That certainly is. You can't come there because you simply lose, right? In fact, these two squares are dodgy. That is out of bounds, and so is that. So, where are you going to go? These three squares are kind of okay. Oops. Right, now I could trade queens off if he goes to this one. Giving checks. Can't put my queen in there, would like to. He's on 3 minutes now. Oh! Well, isn't that interesting? This and then chuck a rook up. I like the idea of chucking rook up. Rook f3, attack. This will force the queen back into this corner. Might then think about putting my queen on this diag here and have a, see if I can't bag myself a Harry. Go hunting for Harrys. All good. 2 minutes 45. Tick tock, tick tock. Got to be careful, mate. Well, that's just taking a square, a potential square away from your queen. So I think that gives you only one square, and there's a marauding knight. But my knight can't really attack the queen from there. But I'm thinking rook df8. Yeah, I have 2 rooks, so I should be bullying the f-file, don't you think? I'm getting quite excited now. 2 minutes 25. I thought you only had 1 square. Well, hey, hey. But no, I'm moving quicker. 4 minutes 13 I'm on. He's got 2 minutes 30. Now this, that's nasty. He's got to trade the queen, but trading the queen for 2 rooks ain't the end of the world. Can I put another, can I put more force against that? Yes. Yeah? Knight here, knight f5, knight e3 puts a 3rd set of eyes onto there. Also, by the way, attacks the bishop, but it's rubbish bishop. Been rubbish since the start. One minute 40 now. It's evening time for Ralph. So he's going to be within, was it 9 to 11 hours different from the UK? It changes though, because when our clocks are currently on GMT, but they're coming into summertime, so their clocks may have gone forwards for summertime, which makes their time difference bigger. So it could be 10 to 12 hours, something like that, difference depending on where he is in Australia. 102, 101, 59 seconds. How are you going to win, even with an increment? This is not a player who rushes his moves. And quite honestly, he's up against it a little bit. But then so am I, because I've got to go and rugby referee 2 rugby games. Under 15s cup match at 10 o'clock, followed by I think an under 14s match or something, or under 16s at 12 o'clock at the same club. As this is definitely a threat, and he would be forced to trade off, I think. But I think before we do that, okay. Now here. Or I just keep things really simple and stick my queen here. You're not going to take my knight. What are you going to do? If I put my queen here, can you do that? No, well, rook then just takes. Okay. 30 seconds now. Come on, Ralph. To minimise the comfort breaks. And 15 seconds now. Oh, there's also hanging, no. For some reason I thought that knight was also attacking the pawn. 1, 0, 1 on time. Bingo. Okay guys, I'll see you again very soon. I've got to dash. Bye.